Hi all. In this session, we are going to see how to enable ESLint, which is a linting tool in VS Code. Okay, let's proceed. So, what is ESLint? ESLint, many would be aware. It is a static analysis tool for finding the dynamic JavaScript issues. Okay, which was primarily a tool for JavaScript. Later, the tslint got deprecated, and they moved all their work under a ESLint plugin that is at Typescript ESLint. So the ESLint, since the tslint got deprecated, all their work came under ESLint. Now the ESLint is the single tool for both JavaScript and TypeScript. Okay, and it is, as you know, it is used for finding the errors uh, in the JavaScript and TypeScript code. Okay, so it helps to make your code more efficient. Okay, without error free. Okay, basically with following all norms rules. Okay, so now let's proceed with the steps required for enabling ESLint in VS Code. So there are some set steps. Okay, I have a simple yeah, TypeScript application. Okay, with the help of which I will be going through all the steps. Okay, so this has a single file called mod.ts. So here we are not seeing any errors, but it is supposed to show errors once we configure ESLint. Okay, the first step is the prerequisite for ESLint is you should have, for finding errors in TypeScript, you should have first TypeScript installed. So let me move to, I have already moved to the directory. Okay. So let me first make sure that TypeScript is installed in your application. So only if this is installed, ESLint will work, else it will throw error. Okay. So that's why it is prerequisite for ESLint to work properly. So next we can go and install ESLint globally first. We do this global installation to help us to generate the ESLint configuration file. Okay. So by that time it completes, we'll just make it big so that it is visible. Okay. Okay. Now the ESLint got installed. Okay. Now the next step is, as per our my mail, you have to install ESLint locally. Okay, since I'm inside that directory ESLint2, which is the project name, I will just install ESLint as a dev dependency because this is only for development, not for production. Okay, you have to remember. So ESLint also got installed. Now let's proceed with the next step. Okay. So the next step is initializing ESLint for this application. So when you initialize, it will throw out many questions, okay, to help it understand what is the package it needs to install for you. Okay. Now I say to check syntax and find problems. And for me, it is just a simple JavaScript modules. I'm not planning to use any framework, so I put none of these. And yes, I plan to use TypeScript for this project. Yes. And I'm planning to run this application in browser. So in what format do you want the config file to be generated? I simply say JSON. And based on your selection, right, it has decided I need all this packages to be installed. So I say yes, it will install all the packages for me. So this is to override the failures which may happen, that you may not have those packages. You maybe want to test TypeScript ESLint across TypeScript, but you may not have certain packages for that. So to avoid that issues, it just asks you questions, and based on the selection, it decides what are the packages you need for ESLint to work properly for your application. So after it installs, you may be able to see the eslint.rc.json file, and this file is the configuration file which is used by ESLint. Okay, you can see also that ESLint recommended and TypeScript ESLint. Okay, which has all the work of tslint. So it has got inside a plugin now. So all the passes and all those have come in inside this ESLint plugin. So you can see this. So since you mentioned TypeScript, I'm planning to use TypeScript. It has added all the TypeScript plugins, passes it requires for testing TypeScript. Okay, let me move on to the next step. Now, since I have ESLint installed in my project, I can go ahead and add this lint, maybe command for testing the ESLint across my files actually. So you can just copy paste it. You just copy paste it. Now I have added the command inside the scripts. Okay, ESLint star.ts. Maybe if you have all the TypeScript inside a folder, you can also mention the folder here. Like if it is inside all the sources, only inside the source folder, all my TS is there. You can mention that also. Okay. Now I can test for the file mock.ts I have, right? I can test whether I have any lint issues in that file. Okay. So you just give run lint, the key for that what I have inside scripts. So if you run this, it will now run the eslint command. Okay. So it has given you all the lint issues. You can see this. So it gives many issues, right? Is assigned a value but never used, never reassigned, use constant instead. So it has given all the lint issues for you. Okay, this thing you can add it in your continuous integration to make sure that all your complete source code passes the ESLint before building or something like that. So you can have this command in your. So as I said, this can be added in your continuous integration so that to make sure that this command passes before you go on with generating the build for the application. Okay. Now the next issue comes, right? Why I am not able to see the issues dynamically? Why I am not seeing the issues? When I write, I am not able to see the issues. Only when I run lint, it is showing up the issues. For fixing that, we have to do the next command to automatically linting on your files in VS Code as you type. First, you have to install this plugin VS Code ESLint extension. So you can click on this, and if you just search for ESLint, you should be able to get that. So you got this installation. I already have it. So for you, you may install it, and you can enable it. By default, it should be enabled. Okay. Now it is enabled. Okay. So that process is now done. Okay. So for us, it came directly after enabling it came, but it is also best to do this command also. Okay, just open the command palette, and you give VS Code the permission to have ESLint manage the library. So that you just open the command palette. This will open the command palette, and you just mention this. because for many people the first time it may not work, so you have to enable it. Okay, you have to say ESLint, you have to give this command manage library execution, and you say allow everywhere. So you are actually giving permission to VS Code to use ESLint across all your files. Okay, so once you give it, it should enable all that. Okay. And for many people, the ESLint, as I told you, it is done for JavaScript. So normally it probes JavaScript files. To make it probe TypeScript also, you have to do this setting also. Okay. Add TypeScript to be validated by ESLint. For me, it is already checked, so it is able to show the errors for TypeScript. For you, it is better because first time it may not show up. Okay, just open preferences, settings. Okay, and you give ESLint probe here. Just search for ESLint probe here, and you have many things, right? You got ESLint probe, and you add item TypeScript. That's what I mentioned here. You just add it. Okay, you just add item TypeScript here to enable ESLint to probe TypeScript also. Okay, this can be used for adding other languages also. Right now it checks JavaScript, HTML, Vue, Markdown by default. Now we have also added TypeScript. Okay, and other thing. Okay, this is the we have done the fifth step now. Okay, we have asked ESLint to probe TypeScript also. Maybe if I want a setting like we want the editor, whenever I do some wrong command, I want it to validate. I want it to change by its own. Once I save it, I want the editor to fix the error. So for that, what you can do is you go inside preferences settings. Okay, preferences settings, and you search for code actions on save. What the editor has to do when I save the file. So it will open this. Now you click on the settings.json. Okay, and you copy paste this code alone. I will paste it in the description. You can take it from there. Okay, you just paste it here. You give a comma here. That's it. So now whenever I save, the editor will fix all the ESLint issues. Okay, maybe we can check that. If I put let for something which I have not initialized, which I am not reinitialize anywhere in my file, what will happen is if I save the file, it will automatically convert to constant to avoid the ESLint issue, because let will give you a ESLint issue. You can see that let gives you a ESLint issue, right? Is assigned is never reassigned. Use constant instead. Okay, so it gives a error. To fix that error, when you save it, it automatically changes it. You can also make this error not appear. You can tell it to ESLint that never show this error to me or something like that. For that, what you have to do, just see prefer constant, the whatever is in brackets, right? Prefer constant. You can add it to the eslint.json telling that you know and don't show this error to me. Prefer constant. You can make it to false. Maybe you have to say 0 here. Now we should not be we should not be seeing this error in our mock.ts file. So let me check it now. So prefer constant, even if I make it as let here. Okay. We should not be seeing that error, prefer constant error. We are not seeing, right? You can see that. Okay. So by this way, we can disable some errors from ESLint. Showing those errors, we can disable that. Okay. So in some cases, you may have issues. Okay. Maybe this may not happen. Okay. This even after changing the rules, it may not reflect in your TS file. In those cases, yeah, you can. It is better to reload your VS Code so that the change in settings will be applied. Okay. So this is what I wanted to explain you on ESLint. I think ESLint will greatly help you to improve the maintainability and efficiency of your code. Thank you guys. Have a nice day. Bye.